Money FM 89.3, the best of the afternoon update. The Afternoon Update with Lynlee Foo.
That's right, you're with me, Lynlee, on Money FM 89.3. Now, Singapore's built environment is on the cusp of big changes. Beyond 2030, construction will look very different, shaped not only by new tools and materials, but by the partnerships that make innovation work in practice. From remote-controlled machinery to concrete that captures carbon and digital workflows that streamline entire sites, construction is gradually being redefined into a much smarter, more sustainable industry. Now, to help us understand what this means for Singapore, I'm joined in the studio live by Lee Aik Seng, Managing Director of Obayashi Singapore. Mr. Lee, welcome.
Thank you, Lynlee, for having me here. Good afternoon.
Let's talk about construction on a bigger scale. Construction has often been seen as a very traditional, labor-intensive industry, but that picture is starting to change. So with technologies like robotics, remote operations moving into deployment, what are the most meaningful shifts you're already seeing on the ground?
Okay, everybody know construction is we call brick and mortar, or in Japanese sometimes we call it a triple D or English triple K industry, which is very difficult, But things are changing. We say maybe the industry was slow in changing the last century, but it has become very data and system driven nowadays. Example, we use now BIM, building information modeling, to simulate building even before they are built. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of coordination using digital model. We use sensor to track progress, and now slowly AIs are coming into play, So things are really changing now, and this allows us to be more precise and maybe even safer and more efficient.
Is it true that you can even operate an excavator remotely?
Yes, we are trying these technologies. In this IBEW Back Week, Obayashi OCL, Obayashi Construction Tech Lab, will bring some demonstration on how we can remote control the excavator from the exhibition hall, and the excavator will be positioned in BCA Academy. So that will demonstrate how we actually can do this remote control to operate machineries from far away,
There's also things like drones and digital twins and automation becoming a very big part of construction these days.
Correct. So this BIM thing perhaps started maybe in Singapore, maybe about 15 years ago. And now the whole industry is adopting this. And we can use it for design coordination, we can use it for DFMA, can use it for a lot of other things, and it is very accurate. And a drone is getting very common nowadays, and it's just not capturing images or photo, it is capturing data in cloud points form. For example, when Obayashi constructed the bird paradise, it was a very difficult job because the site is very huge. It's 220,000 meters square, undulation, a lot of undulation. We use drone to capture the topography. We use drone to capture the progress and all this, So we use a lot of that, and nowadays it's getting very popular. The drone itself is getting better. Software itself is getting very powerful and very fast.
Okay, you were telling us about an event that's upcoming.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us more so that we can see all this technology in action? Okay,
so this IBEW Week 2025, like I say, it's a dynamic hub that brings all the industry professionals together, and all the innovative companies that are shaping the future of our built environment. This year, the theme is today's professional, tomorrow's expert, So it's a platform for our BE professional to deepen technical knowledge and develop real world skills, So, and we cater for the specific needs of the region market and serve as a central platform for industry professionals from across the region to discover a lot of cutting-edge solutions for all the built environment.
Mr. Lee, where is this held?
The event will be held from 3rd to 5th of September in Marina Bay Sands Convention Hall.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that. Now, beyond technology, let's talk about materials. Cement and concrete are huge contributors to emissions globally. So what's happening in this space in terms of sustainability, and what are you working on here in Singapore?
Okay, we all know that these sectors contribute maybe about 40% of our global carbon emission. So sustainability is important, not just for the BE sector, but for everywhere, you know. There is a shift now, and people are conscious to be green, you know. And BCA and Singapore Green Building Council are already formulated a so-called Singapore Green Building Plan 2030 or 2030, I think. You know? So that's an important thing. So the whole industry is shifting towards to be green, to be efficient, reduce waste. And nowadays, we are using a lot of green concrete, whether it's less cement or recycled aggregate. We are going towards using green steel, which is produced with less energy. We are using a lot of recycled material, or even sometimes carbon capturing products, you know. So if you look at maybe Osaka Expo, if you've been there, I think many people has been there. The whole Grand Ring is built with recycled timber. And there is one particular pavilion which Obayashi built. It's Cartel Women's Pavilion.
Okay.
And that pavilion was built using recycled material from the last expo in Doha.
Oh, wow.
And the good thing is now they are trying to capture or database all this material so that they can be recycled to the next project. So it's something that we are trying, you know. So things are changing, and I guess everybody got to pay attention on sustainability. You know.
Okay, absolutely. I think we also need suppliers, regulators, and contractors to all align. Without that, you know, none of these can work or scale. So let's talk about people. The workforce has always been central to this industry. How is technology changing the way teams work on site?
Okay, so when we talk about innovation, digitization, and using technology, I suppose we are not looking to replace the labor forces, but rather to work together to complement it, you know. And some things like robotic, it helps us to do works that are more dangerous, a little bit more, manual, you know.
Okay.
So we are using things like AGV to transport material instead of using the labor to push around. We're using robot to do drilling and welding, you know. And sometimes we are also using like AI power, maybe monitoring system to monitor the site and to pick up any safety violation instead of relying manpower to go and manually monitor all this, you know.
Okay. So in a sense, it's less about substitution and more about augmentation. Tell me more about your construction tech lab here in Singapore.
Okay. Obayashi itself has a big R&D center in Japan, in Tokyo. And it's started since 1965. And it's kind of unique to a Japanese construction industry. Only Japanese contractor has an R&D center, and we have about 250 research engineers working there. And we spend almost like maybe US 90 million a year budget on this. Right. On top of this, we are also looking at innovation and technology. We have our business innovation division. And we also have something like a startup, a company called Silicon Valley Venture Laboratory in Silicon Valley itself. There is a team there who is working to explore innovation and technology and invest in some startup, you know. We partners there. We work with maybe Stanford Research Institute. We work with people like MIT, you know, and there's a lot of other company here, there, you know. So this Obayashi Construction Tech Lab is probably a spin-off, you know. So we want to have a unit here to anchor Japan and United States in terms of bringing technology or innovation to Singapore and to the region, you know.
Okay, so it's adapting the technologies to local conditions.
Correct.
I see. All right, you know, partnerships, they're not just helpful, but I think they're absolutely central and important. Can you give us some examples of how collaboration is driving real change?
Okay, I must give credit to BCA. I think they are doing a good job in terms of Singapore built environment. And they are giving a lot of grant to productivity grants and money to the industry player to adopt certain technology. Not all the time you will be successful. Sometimes you fail, But BCA has been pushing and supporting this, they call it productivity improvement. So we work together with them, and we also sometimes work together with a startup from United States or other countries. So it's not just us alone. We got to work with a government agency. We are doing some research with NTU or SUTD. We also, like I say, work with a startup, and we sometimes will bring our subcontractor and partners together to work with them to give them some exposure, because normally this needs some money or a little bit more resources. So the smaller subcontractors, normally they don't have the capability or capacity to do this, So, we need to uplift the industry, not just from the main contractor perspective, but also the subcontractor perspective.
I'm also thinking, in terms of connectivity, like you were mentioning the excavator, remote excavator, you will need, connection with the telco companies.
Oh, okay. That, again, everybody is looking at 5G technology. It's supposed to give you a better bandwidth, give you better latency, but things are improving. Probably, if I say maybe another 5-10 years, and this thing will be very good, and we can actually explore and use more technology. But it definitely will come a day, We are 2G, 3G, 4G. Now we should be going to 5G already,
But at the end of the day, I think it's about the network of players, the partners who make all these ideas work. Okay, so Mr. Lee, looking beyond 2030, what do you think it will take to move from pilots and showcases into mainstream practice across the construction industry?
Okay, so when I started construction in the 1980s, the drawings are in paper form. Tracing, you got to do ammonia print. When you want to change it, you got to use a blade to erase it,
Wow.
But that was maybe 30 years ago. Fast track to now, we are using Revit, we are using BIM. And I always tell everybody, it's an amazing technology, to use, and it's so accurate. Coordination is so good that I almost got no abortive work,
Wow.
A lot of things are changing now, and computer power are getting better and better. When we started, we don't even have a computer, we just have a calculator, So I would say give ourselves another 10, 20 years, and I suppose the way we do construction will change a lot,
Okay, so what's the one innovation you like to see move fastest?
I probably would say, AI is a big thing now. Everybody is talking about AI. Maybe 3 years ago, if we asked the company, can we use AI? I say no, because it's very unsafe, a lot of security issue, privacy issue. But fast forward now, we are allowed to use some bit of it. And if I say I fast forward another 3-5 years, the computing power is getting better, the chips are getting better, I suppose the software are getting better. So I think it will ease the way that we are doing things a little bit better, much better, and much faster. I would suppose AI is probably the biggest factor that will come into play for the next 5 years.
Okay. Very quickly before we let you go, you've been in the industry a long time, since the 80s. What keeps you motivated about building the next chapter of Singapore's skyline?
Okay. I've been with Obayashi 38 years. And this year we are celebrating 60 years in Singapore. So we are the same age as Singapore.
Oh.
So there will be a big celebration. There will be a lot of gathering for all the industry players on the 4th of September. I tell the young one, you first of all got to have a passion for the industry. And this industry will not die off, So when the dot-com came, everybody said, yeah, I told you already, computer industry probably will die. Obviously they are wrong, but I think passion is a very key factor on whether you can sustain or cannot sustain in the industry,
Okay. Mr. Lee, thank you so much for joining us in the studio and for sharing those insights on how construction is evolving in Singapore.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And he is Lee Aik Seng, Managing Director of Obayashi Singapore, with his take on how technology, sustainability, partnerships, all reshaping construction as we look beyond 2030. This has been Industry Insight on Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.